Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of Stiglr for the Details. My name is Alan Dickerson, known to others in wargaming circles as Stiglr. And hold the phone. I have had occasion to go back and look at this seemingly endgame scenario for Donau Front. And after perusing the rules, I have noticed something that will factor greatly in the decision to stop this here at a NATO um, marginal victory. And let me show you what I'm talking about. You'll remember last time, if you were here, we saw that the here at the breakthrough after the tactical nuclear strikes, the Warsaw Pact were able to move up into this area, but the Canadians and the French Armor Division were able to shore up the line. And then, worse, back here, um, these units here astride this road net or contesting this road net uh, effectively cut all of these troops off from supply. So they have 6 operations points to track to a supply line that will go off the map. And the only way for them to do that, because the Germans strongly hold this uh, Autobahn here, was to use this. Let me show you here, to here, to here, to here, to here, and then off map, to use that route to trace supply for the entire breakout spearhead. So as you can see, a number of these units are close to being punched out. They've got 4 um, friction points here, some here with 3, but it was just going to be untenable and impossible to consider that they would be able to get through the French and the Canadians to get to this marginal victory line without getting some of these friction points back. However, after perusing the rules, and let's zoom in a little bit, when tracing the supply route, it is not blocked by enemy units if there is a friendly unit in there. So they can trace down here, and where there are German zones of controls, there are Warsaw Pact units. So if, say, this unit were here, then there would be a non-occupied hex that would cut supply, but that's not the case. So they can trace supply. So I think it's incumbent upon me to play this out and see what happens now that this breakout spearhead here is a bit more viable. Also, in the intervening time, I've discovered a section of the rules that um, I haven't been using all game, but it's very, very significant. And I'm going to see if I can't um, bring that into play as we go forward. But with that said, let us move into game turn 7. And here we are. This is a AM turn. And let's see. Air superiority. Oh, that's right. We were using the simple air superiority. Um, so let's see what we get here. First off, let us assign units that are cut off from supply and then do the friction point removal. So all of these units are now in supply. This one, though, is not. So we'll set him out of supply. All these are within 6 operations points of the road. We can also get rid of the tactical nuke markers. They all go away. There were also a couple here. Those go away. Now over here, however, I think there's still going to be some issues. Let's see if this unit can track supply. Let's see, 1 access road, 2, 3, 4, 6. He still can't track. And then this is uncontested. So this unit remains pitifully out of supply unless, let's see here. How about 1/2, 1.5, 2.5, 3.5, 4.5, and then along the freeway back to here, and then tracing this road and further back. Okay, so this unit finally is back in supply, if he ever really was out. Oh, that's right, there was a German artillery unit in these woods here that I had to finally route out that was keeping him out of supply. So that would put these units in. These units, however, let's see. These might still be out. Let's see. Yeah, there's going to be some problems here because of these units blocking the road. This is a blown bridge. They would have to get back here too. I think they would have to trace to here to be able to get supply. Let's see. This unit, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That won't work. 1, 2, no. Those woods are going to completely kill it. And this is blocked by zone of control. So all of these units are still in perilous condition. They're not going to be able to get supply, and we are in turn 7, so they don't have automatic supply. Okay, so the woes over there continue. This unit will be out of supply, but he's also friction points free. I think that is it. See, this unit track through here to the freeway, and but that freeway is cut here, but it is not cut here, and that will get us to the same place. So those units are all in good supply as well. Okay. So that's it. So let's do the friction point removal. There we are. Then we can do air superiority, which is the usual coin flip 1 to 3 for Warsaw Pact, 4 to 6 NATO, and it is Warsaw Pact have air superiority. And what does that mean? I believe that means 12 air points. And let's look at the handy dandy chart for electronic warfare. We are on Donau front, turn 7. It is 13 to 10 in favor of Warsaw Pact for EW. So 13. Oh, wait. Did I say? Hang on. Turn 7, Donau front. Yes, 13 to 10. So let's get NATO open here. Whoops. NATO has EW points. Donau front 10. And no air points. All right, let's have a look at reinforcement tracks. We'll start with NATO and go to game turn 7 and find Donau front, some more Belgian Alpine units from 2801, the usual entry hex, and they appear to have full operations points. Let's see, that's right here. That. Let me also do refresh counters. There we go. And for Warsaw Pact, game turn 7, Donau. One more division here at the railheads with the 2 operations point detrain. Let's see. And move that over there. And I believe we are ready to go with the Warsaw Pact initial phase. Now, in addition to kind of beating the drum for Vassal and the fact that if I had played this game physically and were using a cell phone camera or something like that to film all this action, a week ago when I decided that the Warsaw Pact was done, couldn't move any further, I would have just packed up all these units and not really had a viable way to restart things. However, because of Vassal and the fact that I saved the last game state here for the start of turn 7, I can go right back and pick up where I left off. Also, Vassal enables you to go back through log files that you've created and go through step by step and see everything that happened. And if you keep careful notes here in the chat log, you can list your attacks and what the odds were and assumptions that you made, so you can kind of follow the action and see what happens. So again, this is a reason to consider using Vassal even for face-to-face games. Anyhow, the other thing that I discovered, much to my chagrin, that I hadn't seen it much earlier, is the concept of counter battery fire for artillery units. As we have seen, if electronic warfare is not successful, then NATO has the ability to call in support artillery from any nearby artillery unit that is not already in the zone of control with a Warsaw Pact unit, and they add their strength to the defense, which 3 points to the strength is probably going to change the odds significantly, especially if the Warsaw Pact is attacking a unit in a city, or any of these units with a strength of 5 or even 4, even 3. That effectively 3 artillery support would double the strength of this unit here. So it's really, really significant. But what the Warsaw Pact player can do, and also the NATO units, when it's their turn, they can use a artillery unit, and this can be any NATO unit, but for Warsaw Pact, if the artillery belongs to one of the combat organizations, being the Guards tank units, motor rifle divisions, those things, only the divisional artillery groups, or DAGs, can use this. And let me show you. And that's usually these rocket units here. As you can see, the unit on the large on the left is the DAG. Those are the only artillery units within the Warsaw Pact divisions that can use counter battery fire. And also all of the unattached or self-contained artillery divisions, and any of the front and army artillery, like this, all of these, they can use counter battery fire. Now, what this does is permits you to conduct an attack based on a defensive strength of 2 if it's a hard unit, and 1 if it's a soft unit and has that. See if I can find a soft artillery unit. There's one. Has that little double squiggly line there to the right. If it's soft, its defense against counter battery is 1. If it's a hardened artillery unit, its defense is 2. So you conduct an attack from the artillery unit. Let's go back here. Like, say it were this unit that were within range. This has a strength of 6. So it would, against a hard target, attack at 3-1. And if against a soft unit, it would be at 6-1. And it's considered to be a attack against a unit in flat terrain and a prepared attack. So 6-1 is the I column, 3-1 is the F, 2-1, which you'll sometimes get, would be on the E, and you roll on these. Now, of course, you ignore any attacker results, so the exchanges don't matter. If you get any result here, these friction points are added to the target artillery unit, and they can retreat to offset um, multiple losses, but of course they have to take the first one. They have to take the first friction point in any case. A second one could be offset by a retreat, but soft units have to take two as well before they can retreat. Hard units could take one and then retreat one. The second effect is that the artillery is suppressed. So for the remainder of that Soviet operations phase, that artillery unit cannot support any other nearby unit. So that's probably even more of a bonus than the friction point. So that's something I have not been using and would really, really come in handy, especially later in turns when the electronic warfare attempts are running out and you know you've got a well backstopped line, such as over here, we've got this unit here in the back, this rocket unit in the back, um, these two units here. So you've got a really nice back line here. This unit would not be eligible because he is adjacent already to a Warsaw Pact unit. But anyway, this is where this counter battery fire can be used to great effect. Also, if the attacking Warsaw Pact artillery unit wants to, it can incur two friction points in a counter battery attack and can use the second one to augment the attack with gas and get the what is now two column shift for that. So that is something that should factor into Warsaw Pact tactics. Okay, moving on. Let's see. Let me check my comments. Oh, I have a comment here, but I can't read it. It's in Arabic. Welcome, whomever that is that penned that. And I see there are some hearts in there, so I'm assuming these are all good, positive comments. Glad to see you here. I hope you can understand what's going on. And glad to have you here. All right, so let us start a little slowly. I'm going to start from the back, move in the reinforcements, and also move up this column here because I know I'm going to want to do that. So we'll give them all a friction point for expending operations points and start moving them toward the front because I'm sure they're going to figure prominently in the action to come. So we have 1, 2, 2.5, 4.5, 5, 6, 7, 8, 10, 11, 12, and we will I didn't just no, that's not right. Let me undo that. Oh, I think I was bringing them up next to the wrong unit. Okay, let me do that again. 1, 2, 3, 5, 6, 7, 8, 10, 11. 11. He would have had to stop here. Actually, I don't even think he would make that hex. I'd forgotten that this was a city hex and costs 2. Okay, so now we can move up the rest of the division to snake in a line. There's that division. Let's get these units detrained, and cost 2 to detrain from that point. 3, 3.5, 5.5, 6, 6.5, 8.5, 9, 10, 10.5. Can't quite make this city. And following March column, these come out, then come on. Let's see. There, there, there. And I think I've forgotten to mark Warsaw Pact Control here. Warsaw Pact. That's here. Okay. I'm pretty sure that we've taken this town previously. Okay. So there's those reinforcements. Let's take the trail off of them. Now we've got these this artillery division, and now that we've been talking about counter battery fire, these are the units you would need to do that. So we want to get them up here into this area as quickly as possible. So let's move them next. I guess we can kind of move them en masse. 1, 2, 3, 4, 4.5, 5.5, 6.5, 7.5, 8.5, 9.5, 10.5, 11.5. Go. All right. We also have some assets moving up here, which might definitely come in handy. And another subtlety that I have come to realize is that artillery units get a friction point, obviously, when they choose to move, because that is choosing to be active in an operations phase. But even if they don't, they can still do support in attacks, counter battery, and all of that, and still gain friction points that way. So those are independent concepts, although they are combined. So if you choose to move in your initial or any subsequent phase, you get a friction point, but you do not. You are not considered to be expending operations points if you contribute artillery fire. So those are two separate things. So when you need to move your artillery, you have to be sure to incur a operation or a friction point to move or just conduct operations in the initial phase in order to have the right to do that in any subsequent phases. Okay, so let's move them up. Where's the best place where they might be needed to squelch, say, these units here? Um, hmm. I'm thinking right around in here would be a good place for them. But, they don't all have to go to the same place either. Okay, let's try this. We've got nice long range of 7. So let's move him along this access road. 1, 2, 3, 5, 6. Both of those roads are blown. So let's go 7, 10 to ford the river, and 11 to enter that hex. We'll leave them there. And these units, more long range. Let's get them moving more southwesterly. So let's go 1, 2, 3. 4, 5, 5.5, 7.5, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Get rid of the trail. And then finally, I think this unit will 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 to amphibiously cross the river. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Okay, so move some artillery into position there. And wonder if we can do anything with these Germans over here. I really don't see the Czechs being able to move them. Might be able to isolate them, however. Well, no, they can trace supply right off of the southern edge of the map here, so I'm not going to be able to isolate them, but they're not really going to be going anywhere or breaking out to cut this road. But just to make sure, we will need to have what amounts to a ZOC bond. So 1, 3. Then we have zone of controls here to preclude any NATO sorties. Same here. Not much can really be done with these units because the airborne is just too weak to mount an attack, especially against this Leopard-equipped German tank battalion. we only have 14 for the attack versus 6 on the defense. It's only 2-1. Yeah, that's just probably not going to happen, even with support artillery and whatnot. Well, if we have an all-out effort, we have a multi-hex attack, both of which would have to pass the Soviet or the Warsaw Pact reliability, but they have this long-range artillery here that could preclude that roll. So let's see what we got here. This unit is in a clear hex with a town in it. So let's see, we have 9, 14, 18, 21, 25, 29, 29 to 6. Need one more point to make it 30. So are there any helicopters in the area? Yeah, we could bring in that unit for helicopters. So that would be 30. That would be 5-1 to start. There's nowhere for him to get any artillery support. So let's look and see if this is viable. So 5-1 in flat terrain is the H column. There would be 2 hexes where the attack was coming from, so that we get 1 column shift for that to the I column. However, and here's another rule I've been forgetting, towns give a 1 column left shift, so that puts us back on the H column. We could put in an air point for chemicals. That would give us 3 columns. We're over to K, and it would have to be a prepared assault. So, yeah, that's looking pretty good. Let us do that then. So we will expend 1 air point there. We don't need electronic warfare. And let's conduct these artillery units will simply incur a friction point without yet spending operations points. Oops. There we go. All right. This is an airborne artillery unit. They can't help. So or you know what? Actually, what I'm going to do is I'm going to reserve that air point and have this weak unit here toss in the chemicals for the 3 columns. Okay, so let's recalculate that. 9 and 5, 14, 18, 21, 25, 29, and let's give him 32 to 6. So that's a neat 5-1 plus a couple of added points. So we start 5-1 in the flat terrain, H column. 1 column to the left for the town, that's G column. 1 extra column to the right for a multi-hex attack, that's H. And 3 columns for 2 columns for chemicals now. So we're on the J column. Okay, let's put that in here. Paired attack with party support, chem Bulls and Hello against 1332 J column. I got my train of thought. Okay, H column back to G for the town, 2 columns for chemicals, 1 for multi-hex attack. J, yes. All right, and here's the attack. A3, J3 prepared is 02. So this unit soaks up 2 friction points. And now all of those units are, or one of those check units has got to be finished. And it will be this one. So I'll just mark him as moved. So that he's done. And now let's contemplate doing that again with just this unit. So let's see, what did we end up with? We ended up with, oh, I didn't put my totals in there. It was 32. So 32 minus 5 would be 27. If we were to redo that attack, 27 to 6 is starting on 4 to 1. So we would effectively lose 1 column. If we did that again, we're on J, we would be on I. Yeah, it would be worth it. A 1 will kill the unit. So let's select all of the artillery that was involved before. And let's see if we can leave off the helicopter unit. It would be minus 8, 32 minus 8, 24, 6 times 4. Okay, yeah. So we'll leave off the helicopter unit. Give each of the artillery an additional friction point. Now let's recalculate. 9, 13, 16. He's throwing in chemicals, 24. 6 times 4 is 24. So we started on 5, we started on 4. Okay. So we're on the I column. Keep the oh wait. Another thing that I forgot is that the German unit is he surrounded? Yes. The German unit is surrounded by hang on a second. For supply, he certainly is because he can't trace to a road. But does this unit? Yes, the unit is surrounded. So I would have gotten another column to the right for that. So let's go back to that initial J column and put it on the K column. And I rolled a 3. So that's a 0, 3. So that unit would now have 3 friction points. Now, moving back to the attack at hand, I would lose 1 column for not having a multi-hex attack. So let's try it again. 4 to 1, 1 column to the left for the town. No column shifts to the right for multi-hex attack, 2 for chemicals. So now I'm on the H column. Heat, paired attack, not multi-hex. No, hello support, H column. And we roll, ooh, 6. That's not good. H6. Wow, that's a 1-1. And as we know for the Czechs, their results are doubled. So the Germans soak up 1 more. They're down to their last, but this unit takes 2 losses. Glad that I didn't bring in that helicopter unit because they would have all been shot down. Good thing. Okay. Let's check what type. He's in a wooded. This unit's in a wooded hex, so can't be overrun or anything like that. Let's see if we can't get the airborne to finish the job here. He's down to his last. All we need to do is get 1 friction point and we can kill it. So let's see what we got here. We've got 6, 11, and this artillery unit, 15. That's all we got. 15 to 6. That's only 2 to 1. Okay, let's see if we can improve that. That's really, really bad. So we're starting here at 2 to 1. We would get 1 column for a multi-hex attack, but that would be offset by the town. So we're still on the E column. We could toss in an air point, which would get us 2 more columns. And doing a prepared assault, yep, G column here. So we are assured with a prepared attack of finishing off the unit. So then that is going to be worth it. So we're going to throw in 1 air point for chemicals. And we're going to have this unit spend operations points. This one gets a friction point for that. Yeah, that's good. So that is a 2 to 1 in flat, E column, multi-hex offset by the town, 2 columns for chemicals, G column. Paired multi-hex attack on 1332, G column. And we roll a 1. Oh, great. G column 1, 0, 2. And so finally this unit is eliminated and leaves 1 further hex of advance if we want it. So we'll advance these units into the hex, which puts them into the zone of control of this unit and stops the advance. These units, mark them as moves because they are done, or 1 stack has to be done. Let's see, that's 6 strength points. This one's 5, so we'll mark them as moved. This unit can still undertake operations, but I don't see them attacking this unit with a strength of 4 by themselves. 6 to 4. No, 6 of 4 is not going to do it. Well, let's look at that more closely. He's surrounded. He's not in the town. It's not multi-hex. Let's have a look at it. So if we have 6 points, we can draw artillery from here. That would be 10. We could draw from the front artillery, 14. We could draw from this one, 16. 16 to 4. That would start us at 4 to 1. We could use an air point for chemicals. Okay, 6 times. So we would start on 4 to 1 in broken flatwoods, which is F. It's not a multi-hex attack anymore, but we get surrounded, gets us 1 column to G, and then chemicals gets us 2 more to I. Yeah, that one is worth it. Okay. Repeat. Paired attack versus 1232. 4 to 1 to start. 1 air point chemicals. Surrounded. And what did I say that was? 4 to 1 in broken flat woods. Surrounded is 1 column, 2 columns for chemicals, so we are on the I column. I column, and we roll. Where's my die? 5. We're not really getting good results here. 5 is a 0, 1. So up they go to 2 friction points. Okay. That's pretty much all they can be expected to do, unless I still want to contemplate. We've only got 4 strength points. We've got 8 here. And we could bring in the artillery again, because they're not going anywhere further west this turn. We might as well. All right, let's see what we can get. 8 points here. 12, 15, 19, 19, chemicals from this. 1 air point to bring it up to 20. 20 to 4. Yeah, let's do that. Okay, so here we go. We're going to bring in 1 air point for its point. We're going to, use artillery from all of these units. This unit will conduct operations for the attack. All right, so that gets us a 5 to 1 in broken flat woods. That's G table. He is surrounded. That's H. And 2 columns for chemicals. That is J. J column. Okay. That versus 1232. J column, and we get a 3. That's a good result. O2. And so these units are 3, 4, but this one flips. He's at the brink. The artillery unit has one more to play with. Okay. Now we're making some leeway down here. That's pretty good. Now we might consider bringing these 2 units back here to make sure that they can finish the job themselves. I think that is a good plan. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. And then he can make it down to here. Not waste any more time with evaporating this unit. Okay. Got these reinforcements moving up. See, we don't have anything behind the lines in here that hasn't moved yet. So now let's contemplate can we do anything here? Let's remove the units. Yeah, it's all one big suburb, so it's really going to be difficult to hit that unit. However, we do have this one French armored unit with a defense strength of 3 sitting out in the woods next to this unit, which has a mobile attack strength of 12. So that's a neat 4-to-1 odds. There is some French artillery here that could aid them, but as we mentioned earlier, we've got something for them, possibly. Let's see. This unit's part of the 48th. If we could drive a wedge through here, force this unit back, we might be able to pour some of these units into that narrow little breach, surround this unit, and that might be an additional route here. That is definitely worth a try. Okay, so here's what we're going to do. First thing we're going to do is make our first use of counter battery to silence this French unit there. So radio direction finding has located him and his transmissions to his allies. So we have these 2 artillery division units. One has a strength of 4, can't reach, but the other one has a range of 10 and definitely can reach. So this unit is going to incur a friction point to launch a counter battery strike against this unit. This French unit is hardened, it is not soft, so it defends with a strength of 2 against 5, and that rounds to 2-to-1. So the attack is conducted as if the target were in flat terrain and it was a prepared attack. So 2-to-1, that's the E column. So here we can see a 5 or a 6 will result in a 0. Anything else will suppress the unit and give it friction. So here we go with a counter battery versus 3021. And we get a 1, the best possible result, which is 2 friction points. And I can get into my markers. I think I've just added this. No, I'm using a slightly older version. I have already edited this Vassal module. What are we going to use for suppression? Goodness. Air interdiction, airhead. Let's just use an airstrike marker there to note that he is suppressed. Okay. That worked out well. See, we don't have any other French in the area besides these helicopter units. So we're probably still going to want to use electronic warfare to keep them from intervening. But we've got to start somewhere, so we're going to declare the attack. He will declare a paired mobile attack versus 2624. Okay, we're going to have EW. We're going to have 1 air point for chemicals. And we're going to, let's see what assets. We want to bring in as much as we can to forestall the eventuality that the helicopters will be streaming in to help. So this attacking unit's from the 48th. Let's see what other assets we have back here. We have the RAG, Regimental Artillery Group. Give him a friction point. We have in the back the DAG with the rockets and another artillery unit with a range of 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Let's get them both to chime in. Okay. All right, so let's see what we end up with. 9, 13, 25, 25 to 3. That's 8 to 1 starting. Eight to 1 is initial. Then we check to see if the EW is effective, and it is. All right, so we have an 8 to 1 starting attack. 2 columns to the right for chemicals. And he is in flat. Let's make sure of that. Yep, he's all out there on his lonesome. 8 to 1 in the flat and 2 columns for chemicals. We're on the M column. And we will reduce the result by 1 because it is a mobile attack, but it is a mobile prepared attack. So we get a 2. M column prepared is a 0.5. Let's reduce 1 to 4. Nice. So now we have to figure out what the French unit is going to do, how much of that he's going to soak up. 4 points would put that unit at the brink. it would probably behoove him to get out of range of this other artillery, which could pour in more. So these are at a strength, or these are at a range of 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So he could back up 1 and get out of the range of that. He has got to use the path of least resistance and or roads to form his retreat. So he would have to go straight back here to this road. Let's see, I'm thinking 2 friction points and a retreat of 2, which this unit will follow up. And that's it. Yes. All right. Let me check my comments. No further comments. All right. So that was a prepared attack. That's 6 operations points. He's still got 6 left. Does he want to press his attack? Or has he done enough to punch a hole? These units can get through here, 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 then they're in the clear. Get around there. It'd still be nice to move that unit back 1 more. However, it's going to have to brave electronic warfare and also do so without the benefit of all of this artillery support. What he could get is 5 from this long range unit here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So let's see, 12 and 5 is 17 to 3. Both these units would be out of range. 17 to 3. It's 5 to 1. I could bring in 2 air points, 1 for chemicals and 1 for an additional strength point, which would bring it to 18 to 3, which would be 6 to 1. Oh, wait. This French unit is now in a town hex, so I could not launch a excuse me. I could not launch a mobile attack. So that would reduce this attacking unit's strength to 11, and 5 or 16 to 3. So we're back at 5 to 1. Let's do that. So we're going to another friction point on this unit for artillery. We're going to use 1 air point for chemicals. Bring it down to 9. We're going to use electronic warfare down to 12. Okay, so paired attack on, what is that? 2622, 2622, 1 air point for chemicals. Five to 1 starting EW attempt. Also, I don't know if I used it before. So let's take 2 off there. Okay. 5-1, and we have a starting EW attempt, which is not successful. 2 fellow units add 4 points to the defense. Oh, wait. Ooh, that's going to put him at the brink. No. And he's also carrying this unit. No. He will. Yikes. Puts him at 4. Only 2 low points. Okay, so he's now up at 5. 18-5. So now 3-1 start. 2 right for chemicals. And let's see where we are. Flat. 3-1. To the right for chemicals. 5-1. We're on the H column. And we roll a 3. Prepared 3H 0-1, which the unit must suck up. 3, but no retreat. Okay. That was actually not too bad. Now let's see what kind of mayhem we can cause. 3, 5, 6, 7, 9, 10, 11 on the access road, and then 12 there. I don't think I'm going to be able to surround that unit. Nope, not quite, but all but. Let's see. Bring up more assets. 1, 4, 6, 7, 8, 9. Stop for the zone of control. Okay, got them. 1, 4, 6, 7. 10. Then move the artillery into a safe place in behind. We can stack 3 for the Warsaw Pact in there. All right. And we're not done with the 48th. First, we want to get a control marker there. 2, 3. 6, 7, 8. 9. I don't want to get him bogged down with this unit, even though I could stack with him. Okay, so the 48th has made its move into the breach. Now, we've got to be careful that we don't set ourselves up for a counterattack. So perhaps our 18th guard is going to set up for a holding action. Um, These are some really nice units in here. Let's see. We could mount a strike against this rocket unit, which has been kind of left to its own devices. Um, hmm. Also, an artillery unit by itself does not exude a zone of control. There is our in. So we're going to conduct operations points. We're going to okay. How best to do this? The two artillery units here should probably be used to interdict these two artillery, which would be sure to lend support. So let's do that. Give them a friction point each. One's got 3 points, one's got 4. Both the artillery units are hard. So one would be even odds, one would be 2-to-1 odds to see if they can't quiet them down. And what's their range? Is 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. They can both make it. Okay. So we're going to do the 2-to-1 first and then the even odds 1 second. Then after that, we could see about maybe these front artillery units adding some strength. You know what? Actually, let's do it this way. Take the friction point off of them, have them go along for the assault, have these two 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh, this one can't reach. This one can. Okay, so this one takes on a friction point, and the regimental artillery group can't do it. Only the DAG can do it. Darn. All right. Well, let's see here. We have 5 to 2, 2-to-1 on this unit here. Let's see if we can't do that. Battery versus 3323, 2-to-1, and that comes out to E column 3. I think that'll be effective. E 3-to-1 prepared as a 1-1. So this unit gets a friction point, and is suppressed. Now let's see if we can't do something about this other unit here. We don't even have the regimental artillery unit anywhere within range. 18th Guards tank. Where are we? 18th Guards. This is 15th Guards. I can't find the regimental artillery for this unit. Oh, there it is. Range 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Damn, he should have targeted this unit. Oh well. Live and learn. Okay. So that means we're going to have to use EW to... Well, no. No, we don't. Here we go. Let's make a quick phone call here and have this unit take on a friction point and have him launch an attack. Counter battery versus 3423, 2-1, E column. And we get a 4, which I think it's going to be a 1. Yep. And both of those units are suppressed. And now with that done, that improves our capabilities much more for this unit, who can ignore the rocket unit's zone of control. He doesn't exert one. And let's rotate him that way. They've already incurred friction to move, so we'll go 1, 4, 5, and then launch a five. I think it's going to take 2 hasty attacks to do it. Okay, so we're going to have a hasty. Should I go mobile? No, because that's going to reduce the result against him. No. Hasty paired attack versus 30, 26. 26. Let's see. We've got those 2 units. The 2 artillery units are doubled because we're using direct fire. So we've got 9, 13, 17, 23 to 1. So we're on the maximum column there. That's O column. Let's see. Let's take a quick scan around and make sure there are no German artillery units that could aid them. There are not. 6. He's farther than range 6. Okay. So he can't get any help. In fact, he is surrounded, so he's going to even be 1 further column off. If, say, one of those artillery units had survived the interdiction barrage and lent its support would be 9, let's see, 4, 7, 14, 23 to 4, 23 to 4, 7 to 1. Would only be on the 7 to 1 column, which would be J. So 1, 2, 3, 5 columns that would have been lost had that unit gotten artillery support. That is significant. However, we get a 2, which is a 1/6, and this unit needs 6 to kill it, so he will be eliminated, but it will bump up the friction on these units. So the lead regiment now has 4, the artillery have 2. He can advance into the hex to mop up. And that was 6. Now he's up to 9 operations points. Definitely is not going to be taking on these units. And in fact, I think he will not advance. He will stay there and leave that hilltop to smoke a little bit. And let's see, this is 18th Guard tank. Looking around here, we've got more assets of the 18th. So maybe we could maybe hit this unit. Yeah, let's see what we can't do against the French here. Might be hope here. Might be hope here. That one's 15th Guards tank. We want 18th, all 18th. So that's just these 3 units here. Okay. They could maybe take turns trying to hit that unit. 10 to 3 is 3 to 1. We could use air points for chemicals. Or we could try to maybe mop up or pocket these units. I don't know. I think 4 has got to be the way to go. So this unit will undertake operations points. We're going to see. Is there any French artillery support? We know the helicopters are a non-starter. So it looks like this French support might not be as formidable as once thought. Excuse me. Let me check my comments. Nope, still nobody here. All right, so we're going to use an air point to lob in chemicals. We're going to use some divisional artillery to aid in the attack there. Let's see, what are their ranges? 4 and 10. 1, 1, 2, 3, 4. Ah, 1 is still out of range. He's gotten 3 friction points. I don't want to push him too far. So we got nothing else to draw from. Okay, well, he's going to have to go it alone. So here we go. 3, and then a prepared attack versus his 32-24. 1 air point for chemicals. Start out with 3-1 initial. Wow, that still seems rather weak. 3-1 initial in Broken Flat Woods is only E. Column. The chemicals will get us to the G column. And then 5 and a 6 would make for an exchange result of 1-1. I think it's worth it. Odds. Okay, so there's no French support possible, so we end up on the G column. All right. Let's see. 9-3. Oh no. It's got to be 10-3. It's got to be a mobile attack. Prepared. Oof. Wait a second. The problem with that is that the result will be reduced by 1. So if it's a prepared mobile attack, anything but a 1 or a 2 will only give the defender 1 friction point, and one of those results will give the attacker a friction point. So no, that doesn't make sense to do. So let's call off that attack. Move him back. Get the air point back. Yeah, that's not going to happen. All right. Best thing then for the rest of this division to do is to maybe cluster around this unit and attempt to destroy it, or alternately gang up on this unit and get better odds. Might be nice to also get at these artillery units, which have no in-hex support, and they only have a strength of 1 defending by themselves. But this wall of zone of controls is probably going to preclude that. He's in the woods. Okay, well, he'll move adjacent, but he won't attack. This unit will likewise move adjacent, but not attack. This unit will 1, 2, 3, 5. Now what's happening here is we are allowing a bit of an out for this unit. We only have artillery units in its way, and they have no zone of control, so they would be powerless to stop this unit from breaking out and maybe causing havoc here. We got to close that up a little bit. How to do that? And worked ourselves into a bit of a hole. Well, these columns moving up would be able to deal with him if he decides to try that. So let's keep moving further north and see what we're going to do. Here, this is also 18th. Let's move him half, 1.5, 2.5, 3.5, 4.5, 5.5, 8.5. Oof. Okay. We'll leave that there in that hex. This is all 15th around this area. What can they do? Do we have engineers there by any chance? Yes, we do have engineers. So that would reduce the penalty for attacking across a river here to just one column to the left. However, 15th and front assets. It's multi-hex. What do we have here? 11, artillery doubled to 8, 19, 29 with this unit. I could call in support from here. 34 to 5. Always 1 point short of the odds you need. So we could call on this little 2 strength point artillery. 30. Let's try that again. 10, 21, and 8 is 29. 34, 36 to 5. That's 7 to 1. You could bring in air points for chemicals. Also, let's see, they could get support from this rocket unit. So let's go searching first for a counter battery option. And that would be our long range artillery unit here against this unit, which is soft, defends with a strength of 1. So that's a 4 to 1. Counter battery against rockets in 37, 21, 4 to 1 attack. I think that's going to guarantee it being successful. What, 2? Very nice. 4 to 1 flat, 2 2 friction points and suppression. So he's suppressed. And now we can get back in here and friction. He takes a friction point. He takes a friction point. And 1 air point for chemicals. Okay. All right. So we're going to have a paired multi-hex attack versus 3625. Engineers present. 1 air point for chemicals. Okay. And let's total up those odds again. 18, 28, 35 to 5. 7 to 1. 7 to 1. And then we have 1 right for the multi-hex and 2 right for chemicals. And 1 left for amphibious salt. Across the river with an engineer included. Two right total. He is in flat wooded. Okay, so 7 to 1 and 2 columns who are on the K column. And we roll a 2. Good roll. K column 2 is 1, 4 against this unit. So he's got 4, would put him on the brink if he elects not to retreat. If he retreats, then he gives up this river. Ooh. He's got to make it expensive, so he's going to soak up all 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. And that's significant because these units pick up an additional friction point. And that makes them have to do it again. But since after a multi-hex attack, one of the stacks is done, it would have to be this stack that's done because this stack has the engineers that are necessary to make this a viable attack. Otherwise, there would be 4 columns to the left for an amphibious attack. So 10 against 5 starts us at only 2 to 1. 2 to 1, broken flat woods, 2. And then 2 columns only for the chemicals. That would put us at the F column. Oof, it's risky. It would ensure the destruction of the unit, except on a 6, where only the attacker takes the result. G column. Okay, I think we're going to have to try it. Okay, follow up. Paired attack versus 36, 25. G column. And in so doing, let's see, this one would take on an additional friction point. This would take on an additional friction point. And maybe, let's see if this would give us an additional column. Let's see, we have 10, 15, 19, now. One short of 20. 10, 12, 17. 17 to 5 is 3 to 1. That's E. Right. Yeah, let's add an additional friction point to the long-range artillery. So his 4 points is going to give us an additional column, and hopefully that'll forestall the penalty. Okay, so we have 10, 16, 21, 21 to 5. So that is 4 to 1 to start. 2 right for chemicals. 1 left for the amphibious assault with engineers. So that leaves us with a 4 to 1 G column. Yeah, that takes out the one result that we can't take. Let's take off the air point for the chemicals. Let's make sure that there's no German artillery that can intervene with help. He's got a range of 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Just out of range. So we're on the G column. Here's the attack 2. That's going to be good. G column. Ooh. 1, 2. Okay. So here's what happens. 1, 2. 1 point will be enough to destroy the unit. And because there's still 1 point left to defray, that takes away the friction gained by the attacking unit. So they finally move in here without an additional friction point gain, and they are done. They I will mark as moved because they are also done. Okay. More 15th guards. Let's see. So this is significant because we have cleared out this freeway interchange, which will put even these units in supply next turn. Let's see if they can trace 1, 2, 3, 4. No, they still need to put some units in here to be able to trace through. But it is definitely progress. And while we're on that subject, it seems like we might need to use the 53rd Guard to form this link up here. Yeah. Let's see. This is engineers and artillery. We need hard units to do it. We've got only one here and one here. So, all right, here we go. Point there. 3, 4, 5. Access road 6, 7, 8, 9. And then we have this unit here, which is a hard unit, and he can move 3, 4, 7, 8, and that will free up the supply line. Let's see. And the rest of this is either engineers or artillery. Let's remove the tail. Where to next? This unit here, since we're diverting to the north, they should probably move in and start setting up for some attacks here, maybe against these units here with a combined strength of 4, but they're also soft units. Okay, 2, 5. Move in under there. The rockets will stay here and they can couple their strength. That's a good setup there. These hapless units here of the 22nd are nearly punched out, and they won't even start to feel better until next turn now that we've opened up the supply route. So they have to stay where they are, and they can be reasonably sure that NATO does not have the strength to mount an attack against them to destroy these armored regiments. But they're not going to be moving anywhere. Let's look here. These Czech units are all soft units. The helicopters are all engineers. Or not engineers, but air mobile units. Let's see if they can't find a breach here to move through without air defense fire and maybe plant themselves in the rear somewhere in here. This unit does not have, let's get rid of the nukes. This unit does not have a zone of control, but these two units do through here. No, that's folly. Be that as it may, let's move them up the road. And with units in the way, well, each of those hexes is going to cost 2 anyway. So 1, 3, 5, 8, 9, 12. Engineers, artillery. More helicopter, air mobile. 2, 3, 6, 7, 8. And friction, free them up. Front artillery, 2, 4, 5, 8. More artillery, 2, 4.5, 7.5, 8.5, 9, 10, 11.5. Oh, great. No, can't do that. Friction engineers. Where might they be helpful? Probably not necessary. The Czechs are not facing any cities, or, well, maybe Hemau eventually. So let's move the engineers closer to that. 2, 3, 6, 7, 9. Okay. Now let's move the remainder of these units in to seal in the Germans. Okay, this helicopter unit is good for support, but he will gain back 2 friction points. So let's get some city control markers out. Here, also here in Regensburg, here, here. All right. I think that's going to do it for the Warsaw Pact first initial phase, and we're right about at 2 hours, so this is a good place to stop. Great. So I'm going to end the log file. I'm going to save the game as turn 7 NATO first ops. And I'm set for the next time. So join us as we see if NATO is able to recover from the first use of counter battery fire and can shore up forming breaches here and possibly activity here. Oh, that's right. I have actually not launched any attacks over here. Hang on. Hang on. We're not quite done yet. We definitely wanted to attempt an attack over here while we have air points to do so. So the first thing we want to do is use the newly moved up artillery to launch a counter battery against this unit. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. It's at the extent of his range. And that is a hard unit. The artillery has a strength of 4, so it's a 2-to-1 attack. Let's see. This Canadian artillery 2-to-1 attack. And we roll. Oh, this time it does not work. 2-to-1 flat prepared gets us 0. Have any other assets? Not with the range that we need. Do we have any rag units? No, we don't. So here's a case where electronic warfare is going to have to come in handy. Nevertheless, we've got to go for it now. So these units are all going to the rag unit has a range of 5. Let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay. So the rag unit is going to try a 2-to-1. It says he moved. He did not move. I know that unit did not move. Oh, actually, yeah, he may have, but he can still incur the friction necessary. No, he didn't move. Otherwise, he would be on his non-friction point side. So let me move that from him. And rag, our battery attack, also 2-to-1, and that one is better. That gets us 2-to-1 flat prepared 1. Just enough. So this unit incurs a friction point, and he's stopped. And now we get a all hands on deck attack against this doughty Canadian mechanized armor unit with a defensive strength of 6. He's also in a town hex, which is going to benefit his cause by 1 column, but also keep him from being overrun in a mobile attack at a reduced defense strength of 3. So that's going to have quite an impact. So let's see. We're going to use these divisional assets here that just moved up. All hands in. We're using all of this. 10, 15, him too. Oops. 19, 30, 48, and 58, 59, to 6. I need one more point to get it to 60. Let's see. It's 31 guards. These are all 20th guards. I need one more point. Use these heavies. Just moved up. We got 10-1 to start. Okay, and we're going to use one air point to toss in chemicals. We don't need an air point for electronic warfare because the Canadians can't get help from any other source. Okay, so paired multi-hex attack versus 1620. We have 10-1 initial odds, one air point for chemicals. And so we get one column left for the town. We get 2 columns right for the extra attack vectors. 2 right for chemicals. So we get +3 right total shift. Oh, and then +1 more for surrounded unit. So 10-1, we're off the charts. We're on the O column. And the 3 O column is 0.5. That will, he has 5 total to give. He's at 2. So that's 3. 3 and then 2 more to advance, and then 2 of the units are going to be finished for the turn. Okay, so 2 hexes on the advance. Should he move to encircle these units or just keep going? I think it would probably behoove him to go here and then move adjacent to this artillery unit, which he can force to advance, or we can always counter battery it again. I think they need to keep the pressure on the French, keep them from moving out further south astride this line. So that was 6. Doesn't want to get too far out, though. Got a zone of control stretching here. I don't think he wants to press it too much. So I'll go there. So we've got zones of control through here. This unit. These are artillery. Don't want to move them too far forward. Move him under there. And this is all 31st Guard tank. I don't think there's any more. There's more 31st Guards. Tank behind. Move him. 1, 2, 3, 4, 4.5, 6.5, 7.5, 9.5, 10 on the access road, 11. That's a good move. Kind of sealing the Canadians against the south border. Almost. Do we have any more? Zoom in a little bit. Don't have any more from that division. And the rockets are a little bit taxed. Okay, there we go. Now we're done. So, I didn't start another log file, but we can still save the game as that. And that will do it. Okay, so tune in next time for the next segment of Stiglr for the Details, and we will see what NATO can do about what has happened.